with Turning 2. This week we're going to be looking at The Ugly Truth and The Hurt Locker. Alright, The Ugly Truth, starring Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl. A typical romantic comedy. It's really harmless fun, executed reasonably well. There are two mismatched people that work together but have to find a way to get past that so they can both succeed at their job, and wouldn't you know, they end up falling in love, which is, totally cliche and it's been done before. It's not breaking any new ground, but it's fun. I mean, I like Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl. They work okay together. They don't really have on-screen chemistry, I wouldn't say, but it works. The jokes are funny. There's not a million jokes and 10 of them are funny. It's, there's just a reasonable amount. Each set piece works reasonably well. It's probably a 5.5, maybe a 6, depending on how you're feeling that day. It's just a romantic comedy. Take it for what it is. The Hurt Locker is a movie about a team of guys in the Iraq War that defuse bombs for the army. So they get called in and they investigate what's going on, and then they send in a guy, our main character, to actually take it apart and eliminate the threat. It's about 2 hours long, and the first half of it is very good, very intense, very real. It's a movie about the Iraq War, obviously, which we haven't seen very much of, and it gets a lot of credit for that. The problem with The Hurt Locker is that the second half becomes basically a Hollywood action movie. He gets a gun and leaves the army base and tracks down a guy in Baghdad, and he's just like a one-man wrecking crew. Combined with, they have these set pieces, obviously they're going to show him disarming the bombs, and they escalate. Each one is like a little more tricky, a little bit harder, and that just didn't seem realistic to me, that the last one he has to deal with is the most complicated one, and it starts with one bomb, and there's 9 bombs, and there's 9 bombs in a car, and then there's a bomb placed inside of a body that you have to figure it out, and it just didn't ring true to me. It seemed very Hollywood, very much like a movie where the hero's going to win, and all those just kind of typical things that it wasn't doing in the first half, which made it good. So The Hurt Locker, probably 6.5. Has its moments and shows promise, but it's just not the one to be the one. I'll be the one. It's just kind of be the one. Next week on Turning 2, we're going to be looking at Orphan and 500 Days of Summer. See ya.